So, there's not so many people outside. Those who are outside want to come in, please come in. Those inside who want to get out, please get out. Those who just want to stay where they are, that's the very best. Know that some people have to leave to go to the toilet. And it reminds me, I told a story on the way here. When I was in northeast Thailand, we were going on a long bus ride over the northeast of Thailand, maybe 6 or 7 hours. And the head monk, who was a monk called Ajahn Brahm, he said, we haven't got time to do toilet stops. So he came down the bus and handed every monk about 3 plastic bags and some rubber elastic bags. That's a gross idea. He said, well, just in the bus, you're monks, just in the plastic bag, rubber band, and then we can get rid of it on the destination. So that's a good idea for Dhammaloka Centre, Friday night. No, oh, come on. And even the monks we rebel say, no way, stop the bus. I was been travelling, doing a lot, but to start off the talk, we saw in the newspapers a couple of days ago the 2016 census figures have come out for Australia. And there we found out the number of Buddhists as population has declined by 0.1%. It used to be 2.5% and now it's gone down to 2.4%. So I've got the sack. My productivity bonus has gone down. I have to work harder. But we're not in here for numbers. And anyway, talking with our president, it is so true that because, we don't ask people to identify with anything, who are you? Maybe this life you're a Sri Lankan, maybe the next life, you'll be a Chinese, maybe Mr. Trump in his previous life he was a Mexican. But, so we don't try to identify, which is one of the reasons why many people who come here or go to Buddhist centres or meditate and read Buddhist books, they don't identify with anything. People often say, is Buddhism a religion? And oftentimes people say it's not really a religion, not in the conventional meaning of the word. So I'm sure that all of those people who put down no religion in the census, that's ours, they're Buddhists. So the truth of the matter is that we've actually increased in numbers. I think it was about 34%, was the biggest number, more than the Catholic. The Buddhists have got the Buddhists and no religion, it's all the same, we got the most. So that's why I'm going to award myself extra fish and chips and mushy peas. But that was something which I remember reading. There was a very smart young man at Sydney University many years ago, and when they had the elections for their student union, they all had to have a platform, and he started in Sydney University what he called the apathy party. People who were apathetic, didn't care about anything. It's too apathetic to even vote. So when only about 40% of the student population actually cast a vote for president of the Students' Union, and 60% didn't vote for anybody, he claimed those 60% as his, because he was standing for the apathy party. 60% were too apathetic to vote. There's a wonderful little argument to try and become the president. I thought he should win, but anyway, it didn't work. But nevertheless, it's I still have to work very hard. Sometimes when I saw that figure, that the number of Buddhists has gone down in Australia, I say, yay! Now I can take it easy. Not so many people to look after, but it's not just here in Australia. We look after many people all over the world. I'm back from a trip over to New York and Chicago and Toronto and Halifax, and it's a long way. And people think, monks, all you ever need to do is to sit in a cave and meditate. And that we're not really relating to what you call the real world. But if you knew my lifestyle, then I know exactly what to go through as well. You know, all the busyness, the hard work. In Singapore, many years ago, after giving a lecture in the harbour front, they call it the World Trade Center over there or something, a big auditorium, about 2,000 people. And at the end of the talk, questions and answers, which are the best part of any talk. And this man came up to the microphone and said, teaching us how to deal with the problems of life, the stress of the workplace, the difficulties in marriages. And by the way, this is a nice little segue, I did promise that difficulties in marriages to give you a boost of confidence, a little bit of an extra happiness, that I wasn't able to do a blessing service for a couple who got married last week, so I promised I'll do it online. So, Kevin Curry, I remembered you, and you are hereby blessed, powerful blessed, wherever you are in the world. So, online blessings. I'm sorry I can't send any holy water, because when I do the blessings, I usually do holy water. But I'll send it dehydrated, just add water, and then you get your own holy water wherever you are. But on air, yeah, well, that's what on air, just I'm sending the dehydrated water for you. And just add water from the tap and you get holy water. So, but telling all the stuff which I have to do, this guy, after giving a talk on how to look after yourselves, you know, in marriage, in when you lose a job, when you get a job, when things don't happen right in your life, tiredness, the sicknesses, the losses of loved ones, all of that stuff, you know, which is about life, real life. This gentleman came to the microphone and said, that's all very well, all of your theories and all of your ideas about how to live a life without any problems and sufferings, but you're a monk. What do you know about marriage? You've never been married. What do you know about kids? You've never had a kid. What do you know of going to work and living with bosses? You never had to go to work. So all you say is all very well, but it makes no sense. You've got no authority. And that's when I stood up. If people are going to be like that to me, I can give as good as I got, even better. And I said, sir, do you know what day, just this day, I was up at 4 o'clock in this morning. What time did you get up? And I was working all day. I listed all these things I'd done just that day, and it was about 10 o'clock at night. No rest, lots of heavy work. And I said, that is a life, a day in the life of a modern monk. And he came up to the microphone and he said, wow, I never realized how hard a monk has to work in today's world. You know, he said, I always wanted to become a monk one day, but not now. I lost somebody. But so I've got legitimate authority to talk about how to deal with the stress of life. And a lot of the time, just you go back to this incredible little psychology and wisdom of the Buddha's teachings. And in particular, you know, you see this on some T-shirts when it's nice weather, just Peace, be kind, be gentle. Simple teachings, but they run my life. Just make peace. Be kind, be gentle. So when you're going on these long trips overseas, on these aircraft, all the way to New York, and as soon as you get out, you get frisked. Security. Because they think this suicide belt. It's not, it's a fact. But what do? You make peace. You don't get upset and angry. It's just life. What's the big problem? You're just making peace with things and being kind and enjoying just the people. And honestly, that when I did get frisked like that and I didn't really react, they got very friendly and, where are you from? And have a wonderful time in the United States. It was just so kind to me. When you are kind to them, everybody picks it up. That just making peace, being kind and being gentle. And of course, you're tired and exhausted, but that's part of life. Nothing wrong with being tired. Tiredness, the door of my heart is open to you. Come in. And then tiredness is not a big problem. Because as I was taught by the great Ajahn Brahm, and as I understand from all those studies of the Buddha's teachings, and also, most importantly, by your own practice of the Dhamma, it's not experience is the problem, but how you react to it. So if you think, I should not be tired, if I am tired, I'm not going to perform very well in the talk this evening. If I'm very tired, I can't even remember the punchlines to my own jokes. If I start thinking like that, you get more tired. You get more negative. You find in life, it's not what you experience, but how you react to it. That is the problem. And so, if you're tired, just tired. You fall asleep during your talk, you fall asleep. If I fall asleep during my lunch, my head just goes into the bowl and gets all covered with my... It's never happened to me yet. Come close a few times. But part of life, so you don't expect anything else. And just when you were in New York, it was so hot. They were going through a heat wave in the east coast of the United States. And because they're going through a heat wave, it was so hot and I was sweating and I became so homesick for Perth. Nice and cold and chilly. And as soon as I came back, it was so freezing for New York. Isn't that the case? People are so crazy. So, no, you just enjoy the heat. So, I have just my positive attitude. When it's hot and I was sweating, that was like a free sauna. You had to pay a lot of money to go into a sauna in a health resort, but there in New York, you've got it 24/7, all through the day, no worries, no money paid. And when you come here, it's nice and cold and chilly, and that's... As I tell a lot of people, where do you put your groceries so they last a long time? In the refrigerator. So when it's very cold, it's a cause of long life. Your cells and other parts of your body, they don't go off when it's so cold out here. So you have an extra long life coming to a cold country. So you'll get more preserved. So thinking doesn't matter how much you can complain, you can't turn down the sun. You know, you've got these remote controls. You get the air conditioner, you can turn that down a bit. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you have a remote control, look at the sun, and you turn it down. Too hot today. Or, it's a bit cold, so can you just, warm it up a bit, son? You can't control life, but you can control the way you relate to it. And that is the key to my life as a monk. When I first became a monk, I thought, so much peace. I don't have to worry about girlfriends anymore. And now I have so many girlfriends. People come and offer me flowers. And I don't know how many people offer me flowers now. My karma, because when I was a young man, many years ago when it was the custom, you offered flowers to your girlfriend. Now it's my karma, I get all these flowers back. But the problem is, I suffer from hay fever. So release all your flowers and then end up sneezing and feeling terrible. But nevertheless, you don't mind sneezing a little bit, because when you sneeze, you get rid of lots of toxins out of your body. So even when I sneeze, I feel it's very positive. And anyway, the holy water, I can actually distribute real holy water coming from the essence, really from inside of me to other people. It's holy snot. And don't think I make these things up, because you know that story from Ajahn Chah. When I was in Singapore, I just gave a quick talk on the way back from over United States, and it was Ajahn Chah's 99th birth anniversary. He was alive, he'd be 99 now, so I thought I never really said much about my time with my teacher, so I gave a talk about some of the experiences of Ajahn Chah. And it was just so much fun. People think that monks are serious. And one of the reasons I love being with such a great teacher, because he was fun, he was idiosyncratic, no one else could do what he did. Because once, I was there, saw it, there was a general, a major general. Now, sort of the generals are in control of Thailand. It's a military government right now. And always the military have had a lot of power in that country. And I think it was the civilian government at this time, but the generals were you don't mess with generals in Thailand, except if you're Ajahn Chah. So this major general came up with his soldiers. He wanted a blessing. He wanted some holy from the great monk. And Ajahn Chah didn't have any holy water available, so didn't have anything. So come here, he said. And the general came down and said, bow down. And the general bowed down. And Ajahn Chah spat in his hair. A major general, okay. And after spitting in his hair, he got his hand and he rubbed it in. Honestly, I thought, Ajahn Chah, you've gone too far. You're going to disappear in the middle of the night. We won't see you again. But that general, he looked up and said, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. It's so rare to get such an intimate blessing from a great monk. Ordinary water is one thing, but straight from the mouth of a holy monk, I'm so lucky. With a monk like that, he was laughing all over his face, but the general brought it and just went away very happy after leaving quite a big donation. So if anyone you want a real blessing, come up here. But so it wasn't the holy water, it wasn't the essence of just the liquid from his mouth. That was just a bit gross, but it was just the way he did it. To the life, how you react to life, and how you just make a difficult situation into something so joyful and so uplifting. And any blessing water, like usually give, I would have given to Kevin and Sahar. I've got it on my hand, my memories. So this is my spare brain today. Any blessing over there, for water is one thing, but it's the way that it's done. That is the most important. So you can adapt to time and make different ways of doing things. And it's not, again, in the water. It's not in the sort of the swish or whatever else you use. It's in the attitude, the uplift, the positive energy, the affirmation of a little relationship to giving some happiness and joy to someone who is getting married or just got married a week ago, or if it's someone like a general with all the stress of the life and of being in big responsibility. What you're doing. It's not the content instead the words, it's where they're coming from, what's inside the content of the contents. That is really what's really important in life. So it doesn't matter being busy, and I am busy. I'm a very, very, very busy monk. In fact, I'm probably one of the most busiest monks in the world. I think I should go on Guinness Book of Records, the busiest monk in the world. And what's a monk doing being busy? It doesn't make any sense. Yes, it does. Because what a monk does is just to let go. When we first came here into Australia, we didn't know what the language was. Monks, is that the right word? Because that's a Christian word. So I remember going to see some Christian priests and asked, are you at ease? Are you okay with calling us monks? And then they asked, well, what do you do? And I said, not much. At that time it was true. Yeah, we don't have many possessions, we don't have families, or in the sense of a wife and kids, we don't have a house, we don't have a marriage license, we don't have superannuation, we don't have a credit card, we don't have bank accounts. We just basically don't exist, according to the ATO, the tax office. We're off the radar. So, because of that they said, well, yeah, you're monks. That's what the word monk means. So a word monk is one who doesn't have many possessions, who lives unattached in this world, unattached to have nothing to do all day. No possessions, you don't own your stillness or peace. You always share, you give, because you don't own anything. So that's my life. Whenever I am asked, I teach. Whenever people want something, why not? So it is a relationship which we have between myself and you. That's one of the reasons when I say, well, actually, I know all about marriage, because I'm married to the Buddhist Society of West Australia and to the Bodhinyana International Foundation in Hong Kong and to Ehipasiko Foundation in Indonesia and the Brahm Center in Colombo, Sri Lanka, a Singapore Buddhist Fellowship, and also the Brahm Center in Singapore, and to Santi Monastery in Sydney, a Newbury Buddhist Monastery in Victoria, and the Buddhist Society of Victoria, and to the Nuns Monastery in Dhammasara, and to Jhana Grove, and to all the monks, who have ordained. They're my babies. This is one of my babies. Ordained him. I gave him life as a monk. Just like your children, you gave life to them by giving birth to them. This is another sort of relationship like that. And even 2 weeks ago, I think it was, when I was in Toronto, the global conference, the one which we organised 2 years ago, and it was in Toronto. And actually, I suggested it should go to Toronto. And I had a couple of people over there, Pierre and Indy. You're Indy over in Toronto. You looked after me very well. And I suggested we do it there, so I didn't really have an exit strategy. It was my idea, so I had to do it. So I went all over there. Very nice time going over there for that sort of conference. But you do get tired, but that's not the point. You give. And they're my friends too. When I was over there, somebody told me night in Toronto, that's 12 hours after the Friday night talk here. And that was where Santuti gave a talk. And very nice talk, and the people said, your monks you train are really high quality. They're just like you. They even say the same jokes and old stories. And I thought, that's my boy. I'm so proud. And when the nuns come and give talks, like many of the people from Hong Kong and from Indonesia went over to see Dhammasara, they're my daughters. So I do have a family, a big family, and every now and again you see some of these people who you knew when I first came here to Perth, Erica and Kelly over there, when you were just really small, teaching you about little meditations, which apparently you still do. That was in the days of Magnolia Street Temple in North Perth. And when they were little kids, you can't teach kids about dependent origination and Four Noble Truths. So they did this beautiful meditation. I think you said last time I saw you were still doing it. Sitting down in this little hall, getting your body relaxed, and imagine yourself floating outside and floating through the roof of this little number 4 Magnolia Street, over the houses, over the beach, over into the ocean, your own personal place in the ocean, and you land in that ocean and you just float. It's warm, it's not cold, and it's so safe and so nice, and you look around and there's no one around, every direction. It's your special place, and you can feel just the soft wind blowing across your face, and you can just relax, and no one is asking you to do anything. You're totally at peace in your special place over in the Indian Ocean, totally free and content. You can really relax, and after a few minutes, now's the time to come out. Imagine yourself floating over a place in the ocean. Floating over the ocean, you can see the beach, and you can see the houses over the beach, over the houses, and into the Buddhist temple, and you go through the roof and back into your body. You're back again. Do you still do that? You remember that, Erica? You don't? No. But you remember that? No. Kelly? No. I remember on it. Every now and again. But, you know people for such a long time, they're like family. And it's great to have, having that sort of wonderful connection with people, the family, where you can care for one another and you can give. And in times of difficulty, just like the monk is like another part of your family. It's like a little godfather. But no, don't believe in the gods. It's like a Dhamma father, like a Buddha father and a Buddha mother. And it's really, really helpful. Just like that time when this Sri Lankan girl came up to see me. And she said, Ajahn Brahm, I need to talk to you. Yeah, what's the problem? I said, big problem. What is it? She's about 16, 17. She said, I'm pregnant. I said, have you told your mum and dad yet? He said, no, they'll kill me. That's why I came to you. Can you tell them for me, please? So that's my other job, to get you out of trouble with your parents. But that is part of the joy of being a monk, especially a senior monk. The amount of happiness and joy you can do, because you got some respect, you got some trust, which you can really use in order to solve some of the problems in this world, even the little problems. It's not what I expected I'd ever do as a monk when I first became a monk, but now you really enjoy it. It doesn't matter how much work you do. You don't get stressed out if you enjoy that work. But as soon as you complain, why me? Why do I have to do this? This is not fair. Just like this morning at Ajahn Brahm. You've all got a photograph of me. Why do you want to photograph a fat old monk? I just cannot understand that. But nevertheless, it has no reason, no logic to it at all. As a theoretical physicist, I just cannot grasp it. But I don't use intellect anymore. You use your heart. Intellectually, even like spitting on a general and calling it holy water, that makes no sense at all. But then again, you're opening up your heart to somebody. You're caring for them. You're having a wonderful, fun time together. And that is so important. So, whenever I have my photograph taken, even though I think it's the most crazy thing to do, I'm in it. I'm involved. I'm any time. So, get out your cameras, go on. They've already got that. No. But the joy which it gives to people, and the connection, the friendship. You don't always have to do things because they're serious, because they have a meaning. Too often we say, what's the point of that? You know, some things in life have no point, except just to have fun and have some friendship. Just like I was also saying this morning, you know that yes, you know you got a bit of a suicide belt on your tummy, but I was here one day standing just by the door of the reception area. And it must have been, I think, Chinese New Year, somewhere around then. And this woman came in, quite elderly Chinese, took one look at me, a monk with a fat tummy, rubbing it for luck. So what did I do? You don't say, what's the point of that? We're not into superstition in this place. You know, you don't get good luck by rubbing a monk's belly. And it's offensive. I could sue you for that. It's assault. But that's not how you learn to be and to train in Buddhism. Enjoy the moment. So I laughed and she laughed and I had a really good rub. And I suggested that, there's always, need to raise funds for this or raise funds for that. That people shave their hair off for cancer. And I volunteered to do that. I'll shave my hair for cancer, but I've got no people donating because I do it all the time. But what I can do is belly rub for the foundation. Wouldn't that be a good idea? Sort of 1 minute for, maybe $100 for cancer. No meaning to it. It's like it gives some joy and happiness in this world. And of course, where is the joy and happiness in this world these days? It's so rare that people can just have fun together without alcohol, without some drug. A nice evening at this place here, laugh a lot, and get a little bit of wisdom at the same time, and understanding. Don't be so serious. Put joy and fun into your relationship. Kevin and Sahar. Have some fun, laugh together. Don't take life so serious. If it's your wife's birthday, give her some holy water. So, when we learn, it's not the world, but how we relate to it, and that we can always put joy even into the hard work we do, then you find you don't get sick. Sometimes that I look at my lifestyle and I should be sick. The amount of stuff which I do, not sleeping enough, always not having time to get to the toilet, as you all know. Sometimes I have to insist, no, I have to go to the toilet. And they say, oh, no, just one more photograph. But I've trained, I've got a very strong bladder now because of all the training. And also just being able to smile. How can you smile? Shots? So easy. It's training. Every morning, 10 push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the muscles get strong enough. So you can smile at will any time. Why not? Every now and again, I think I did this demonstration, where was it? I think it was in Tibet House in Manhattan recently. I said, people ask me, what about like compassion for oneself, which is really important. We all know about compassion for others, kind to others, but sometimes you get a bit dry, you need a bit of kindness for yourself, and if you can't get it from anybody else, you can have some self-compassion. And so I asked everybody, and you can actually follow what I'm doing. Those of you who want to, put your arms out. Arms out. Come, put your arms out. And then just bring them in. Just follow me. And what's always interesting is the people who don't do that. You're the ones who need it more than anybody. That's silly. That doesn't work. People are so much, too serious in their life. And that is one of the reasons why they cause problems in the world. If only Mr. Trump could hug himself and do something absolutely ridiculous and stupid. Number 1, your health improves. What is it? Endorphins get secreted into the bloodstream. You're happy, you're healthy. And a religion or no religion, whatever you call it, called Buddhism, it's all about not just emotional health, but physical health as well. That's one of the reasons why, you get so many doctors come and learn some Buddhism. It's an enormous psychology and health benefits. Developed over 25 centuries of investigation into the nature of the human mind and its interaction with the body. It's huge. And that's one of the reasons why these teachings will always be relevant, because they got the goods. Your health is really important. And how can you deal with it? The problems of cancer, of anxiety, of what's all these other stuff people have, heart disease, and the things which really kill people. Why? Addictions. Just running away because one doesn't know how to be happy in this moment with oneself. One doesn't know how to love and be kind to oneself, forgive oneself, and just to let the past go. Let it vanish. You don't need to hang on to it. You don't need to know how to be kind to your past. Little things like people always say, oh, let go of the past. How the heck do you do that? The more you try to let go of the past, the more it keeps bothering you. Crying. Instead, we're kind to the past. Past, the door of my heart's open to you. Come in. Whatever happened, whatever silly thing you did. And when you are open to the past, you're kind to the past, it takes away the harshness of it. It takes away the sting of whatever somebody did to you or whatever you did. It becomes soft. And you laugh at the stupidity of human beings. Why people do that to one another. But it happened. I wish you well. We were just looking at some of the stuff which I have to do at the insurance renewal for our monasteries in this place. We have to pay insurance, a lot of money, but it can be fun sometimes. Just like last year, we had 2 claims from down in Serpentine. One was when the air conditioning in China bust. We didn't know why, and we found out cockroach had crawled into the electrics and got fried, and it bust all the electrics. Of course, as soon as we found it, we did some chanting for the poor cockroach. Dying in a retreat centre must be really good karma. If you're going to die anywhere as a cockroach, next to all these great meditators, that was pretty cool for the cockroach. But we had a bill for about $5. And so, wow, how can we pay that? So our secretary rang up the insurance agent and said, is our air conditioning covered for cockroach fryings? And apparently she said, I don't lay hard, she's here listening, said, well actually, I never heard that before. We never come across that. But they looked in there and said it was covered, so we got it all back. So you should know that if ever your air conditioning gets, which actually is covered in most policies. And the next one which happened last year, our workshop got burgled. In a monastery. Isn't that really bad karma to steal from holy monks? You know, stealing from ordinary people, that's pretty bad karma, but to steal from holy monks, wow, that's terrible. Is it? No, because that was also covered by insurance. And you know, if anyone knows about tools, you know that the money we got back from insurance, we could actually buy new tools, much better quality, you know, more up to date, and still came out with a profit. So if that burglar is listening anywhere, it's about time you came back, because we need we need the tools. I hope the insurance people aren't listening to this. But these things happen in life. And what do you do with them? You've got a choice. You know, burglars they exist. So what can you do? You can either get really upset and angry, and then the burglar doesn't just steal your tools, the burglar steals your happiness as well. You don't have to let them do that. A car crash can ruin your car, but doesn't need to ruin your happiness. You can always take a bus. You can always walk, and you become more healthy. Woohoo! Thank you, burglar, or thank you, car person, for banging into your car so you can't drive it for a week. It's amazing just how you can see so much benefits no matter what happens. For example, just before I became a monk, we were in love. And then, she dumped me. If I find that girlfriend now, thank you so much. Thank you for dumping me and go with somebody else. If you hadn't have dumped me, I would have never became a monk. Oh, so thank you. It doesn't matter what happens in life, it's what you make out of it. And you know that, stop pretty quickly, that's the essence of the Buddhist law of karma. People always think karma is just so negative. If the reason why I have to work so hard in this lifetime because I was the laziest monk ever in my previous life, now I have to make up for it. Though that's not how karma works. The reason I suffer from hay fever is because I punched holy on the nose, and now my nose is no good. That's not how it works. How it works is, this is your life. This is what you've got right now. What are you making of this? You know, you may be paraplegic. Like the poor brother-in-law of one of our monks had a car accident. You may have a cancer. You may be single. You may be married. Have this problem or that problem in your life, looking after your mother. That is life. Now what are you doing with it? You have a choice. You can complain, you get negative. Why do I have to work so hard? Why is it just so tough travelling from place to place and getting jet lagged? And as soon as you arrive, you have to teach a retreat for you guys. And so, but give it everything you've got. And negative. This is calm, if you like. This is what I have to do. Don't get negative about it. Let's have fun with it. Let's have fun with being sleepy. Let's have fun with being tired. Let's have fun even with your sicknesses. Learn from it. Grow from it. The story of the truckload of shit, truckload of States book, very popular, was sometimes you go home and you find someone has dumped a whole truckload of cow poo right in front of your door. And there's two things about that dung. You didn't order it. How much in life does it happen? You say, why me? I never ordered it. I don't deserve this. And the second thing is no one saw the truck coming. The truck company to take it away. You're stuck with it. Whatever happens in your life, as a really busy monk, as a person who has some sicknesses, who has problems in your relationships, whatever it is, whatever happens, you didn't order it. So sometimes, why me? Waste of time saying that. The answer, you know the answer to why me? Why not? It's got to be someone, so it's not. And number two, you can't get rid of it. I can't get rid of all those duties which I have, all those commitments I have to people I've known for such a long time, friends, people you care for. I can't just say, get out of here. You can't do that. So what do? You care. You dig in the dung. You dig it into your garden. And the more dung you have, the more garden. So, lots of dung, lots of beautiful flowers, lots of delicious fruit. So much fruit that you can't just enjoy it yourself, you have to share it with everybody. That is how I look at any difficulties, or struggles, or problems, or hardship. The tiredness, the giving, photographs, signing books when you want to go to the toilet. Can't go toilet. Too far away. But all of that, you can go there. During the middle of this talk, if you want to go to the toilet and have a leak, you just get out. Me, I have to stay here till, not just until 9 o'clock comes, until all the questioners come, and then, ooh. But instead of complaining, you dig in that difficulties. You grow gardens. You grow flowers. Fruit trees, which you share with everybody. So any of you have any difficulties in your lives? Thank you. Any difficulties in your life? Well, problems, don't complain about it. You don't say, oh, why? Nicholas, you should know better than taking a photograph of me at this time. You don't say things like that. You enjoy it and just engage with people. You become selfless. You're kind, happy in a world where too many people are selfish, too many people are just unkind, critical. Why are you doing that? Putting yourself down, putting other people's down, and you take away the joy in life. If I learned anything by living with an Ajahn Chah, was learning how to let go and enjoy and have this beautiful fun, simple happiness, just living with hardly any baggage. You didn't need a TV to have fun. You didn't need alcohol, drugs, just the joy of being. And that's the talk for this evening. Da da da. Oh, come on, that's pretty weak. Do it properly. Like all those people in the Ajahn Grove retreat, I've been training you for the last week. Come on now. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, I think this is some Christian revival meeting. Anyway, now is the time for the questions. Okay, what have we got today? Any questions from? Everyone's leaving. Bye-bye. Is it nothing on the internet? Oh, okay. So, any questions from the floor? Anyone like to ask a question, a complaint? Any complaints you usually take to the president? Any praise comes over here, please. No? Okay. Anyway, I hope you had... Oh, you have a question, yeah. My next speech is 5 minutes time? I don't know. The next speech here is next Friday. Same place, same jokes, same stuff. No, I'll try and get a slightly different one. Very good. Okay, so now pay respects to Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and then we can go. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Suvakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Sanghami. Very good. Okay.